Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and a playing of the national anthem. North Carolina Piedmont Region Consortium arriving. Thank you. Please be seated. Honored guests, proud family members, friends, welcome to North Carolina State University's Naval Reserves Officer Training Corps commissioning ceremony. Today we will be commissioning 12 midshipmen as ensigns in the United States Navy and 1 second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the commanding officer of the North Carolina Piedmont Region Consortium, Captain Andrew Hertel.
All right, thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Anything, you guys good with this event today? Ready? Okay, good. I guess we'll proceed on. Then I just need to double check, excuse me. Thanks for, of course, everyone joining us here in this wonderful and beautiful setting. And I hope the Alumni Center is a place each of you, soon to be Wolfpack alumni, stay connected to over the years. As we've heard from many senior officers who started their journey right here, recently from Admiral Suggs and Admiral Caudle, and as you'll hear tomorrow, tomorrow's commencement, Air Force General Cotton, NC State prepares you for success on the grandest of stages. And it is indeed a grand stage on which these future officers will stand. Of course, we don't know exactly who all the other actors on the stage will be. China, most certainly, or a resurgent and belligerent Russia, a bellicose North Korea, or who knows? Those of you who served in the armed forces in the 1990s had no idea where the post-Cold War era was going to take us. But it certainly took our nation on a journey which required people of good character to go forward from our borders. The reason we have a maritime force today is the same reason we stood up a Navy and Marine Corps in 1775. To promote American interests, to preserve the peace, and protect the homeland. The Navy and Marine Corps are America's away team. We're based here, but we take our game on the road to make sure other teams don't ever have the chance to play on our turf. Although the tools we have today are different than they had in 1775, and will certainly be different years from now when these future officers complete service, the mission to protect the homeland, promote American interests, and preserve the peace are never going to change. Today we're in a new environment where we must deter other great powers and be ready to defend against or defeat a wide range of foes. Good thing we still have people of good character, ready to stand up and volunteer to give it their all to support the nation. I say this with great confidence because over the past 4 years, I've come to know quite deeply these prospective officers. I've seen tremendous growth, and every one of them have the tools to be such great officers. I say this because I was able to open a window into the character of these people and know what sort of person they are. And they know what I'm talking about. As someone who's been there and done that, much like many of you, I know these future leaders have the capability to surpass all of us. I'd also like to take a couple moments here to recognize how resilient and full of grace this team is. Amongst the midshipmen about to be commissioned, there's a vacant chair, but that chair's not empty. Do you all remember a couple weeks ago I talked about when you find yourself in a situation where you didn't know what to do? Right? And I suggested a strategy where you should pause for a moment and think about what a good person would do. And then do that, right? You can never go wrong when you're trying to be a good person. I'd suggest you make this process more real and tangible exercise for yourself. Replace the phrase, "What would a good person do?" with "What would my friend Ryan do?" Then do that. I know none of you will ever forget your friend Ryan, and neither will I. Several of you will be commissioned today by Chris Boner. Chris, thank you for being here with us today. I cannot capture in words what you being here means, nor will I attempt to. You commissioning these officers further locks Ryan's legacy in our Navy. It's a saying of the ancient Greeks that we walk backwards into the future. As we walk backwards into the future, we'll address challenges tomorrow based on the experiences we've had today. The challenges faced as we have walked backwards these past 4 years makes me confident this team will be able to address whatever life brings them. It'll bring challenges, that's for sure. And accepting their commission means they'll be on a great journey. And that journey is about to start when these midshipmen accept their commission by taking the oath of office. Note the word I just used. These men and women are about to accept their commission. They're about to willingly put the needs of the nation first and put themselves at the bottom of a list of priorities. That list of priorities starts with the Constitution, then puts the mission, the Navy and the Marine Corps, and others ahead of the individual. Taking the oath of office and accepting the commission is the most significant event in any officer's career. It's a binding commitment accepted willingly, and it comes with a recitation of a single sentence, but a deeply meaningful sentence, which I want to unpack here for just a few minutes. The first law passed by the first ever session of Congress in 1789 was regarding oaths, and in several revisions to that oath in the last 234 years, the words have changed a little bit, but the intent of the oath has not changed at all. Many of you with us here today, all important people in the growth, life, and development of our very soon-to-be officers, have taken this oath before. It's worth it every now and then to remind ourselves what that oath means. The oath is a public statement of personal commitment. We stand before friends and family, we raise our hand, and we do solemnly swear. We swear to uphold a set of ideas which define a nation. We do not swear to support a person or a party. We swear we will support our Constitution and the form of government it creates. We swear we will defend the Constitution and the liberty it guarantees. That statement, where we swear to support an idea, not just a person, is pretty vague, and it's purposely vague. It means we have to have critically thinking leaders, men and women of character and conviction, who can sort out what it means to support and defend their leaders back home. You've heard me say this before, but this brings me to an interesting contrast with our oath and that of the former Soviet Union, which I'll quote here. Their oath requires to unquestioningly to carry out the requirements of all military regulations and orders of commanders and superiors. Our oath demands we support the Constitution and the country whose course it directs. One oath creates followers. And if you look at headlines, those followers can do some pretty terrible things. The other oath demands critically thinking and ethical leaders. We say we will bear true faith and allegiance to the ideas espoused in the Constitution. We make it clear that we are dedicating ourselves to the interest of the nation above all other, including your own personal interests. We also don't get to pick our adversaries. They choose us. And as the past foretells the future, it does not work out well for those who make that choice to pick a fight. We defend against all adversaries, foreign and domestic. We also make sure the person taking the oath knows that there can be no conflict between their head and their heart, that they have no mental reservations. The oath makes sure that they are fully committing, period. And that they take this obligation freely. You know what you're getting into when you take the oath. You're committing to give it your absolute best all the time, no matter the circumstances. You swear you will do your duties well and faithfully. Then we close the oath with the statement, "So help me God." Compare our oath to that old oath again of the Soviet Union, where they say, "If I break this solemn vow, may I be severely punished by the Soviet people, universally hated and despised." There's a lot of people that don't like me. I can handle that. But I can't let down the Almighty. Our closing acknowledges no stronger commitment can exist. I think it's a good thing for us to take a few minutes to remember what this oath is about. Every time we hear it, all of us who have served or are about to start serving should pause and reflect on what it means to take the oath of office. It's a deeply meaningful statement that still gives me goosebumps every time I hear someone recite it. But what's even better than just hearing it is seeing someone live by it. A friend of mine was frequently quoted as saying, "Don't just talk about it, be about it." Right? That's your task. It's a great honor to see this group of officers take this oath and continue to build on the foundations that all of you have created. Our Navy and Marine Corps, your Navy and Marine Corps, are being put in good hands. Now I suggest, in fact, I think I'm in a position to even direct it, that we make our Navy and Marine Corps a little bit stronger. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Hertel. We will now present the Ensign Worth Bagley Leadership Award in honor of Ensign Worth Bagley, Raleigh native and USNA class of 1895, who served aboard the torpedo boat USS Winslow. He was the only naval officer killed during the Spanish-American War. He is buried in Oakwood Cemetery in Raleigh. An officer's sword is presented to the graduating senior that most exemplifies the highest degree of scholastic achievement, military bearing, leadership, and personal demeanor. This year's recipient is Midshipman First Class Atlee Poole. Delivering the sword is Mr. Emery Miller of the Triangle Chapter of the U.S. Naval Academy Alumni Association. Ladies and gentlemen, Midshipman First Class Atlee Poole. The swords our Marine officers carry are the oldest weapons still in service in the United States Armed Forces. They represent the Marine Corps' rich history of fighting by those who our nation trusts to win. Officers carry the Mameluke sword, which was originally given to Lieutenant Presley O'Bannon in 1805 by a Mameluke chieftain in North Africa. Lieutenant O'Bannon and his Marines marched across 600 miles of North African desert to rid the shores of Tripoli of pirates and to rescue the kidnapped crew of the USS Philadelphia. Today, the presentation of this sword to new officers is a time-honored tradition. This year's recipient is Midshipman First Class Jack Wild. Delivering the sword is Colonel John A. Staley, United States Marine Corps, retired.
Before I present the sword, I just want to make a quick comment. The Tar Heel Attachment Marine Corps League has been doing this for 33 years. And the man that was instrumental in establishing this process recently passed away. This year we're presenting the sword in honor of Captain James Knight, United States Marine Corps.
The CNO Distinguished Midshipman Graduate Program honors the graduating midshipman each year who demonstrates the highest standards of leadership, academic, and military performance. This year's recipient is Midshipman First Class Tristan Seal. Delivering the award, Captain Hertel. The National Defense Transportation Association annually presents a silver medal to one distinguished midshipman graduating with a degree in business administration or a program similarly emphasizing the transportation field. This year's recipient is Midshipman First Class Chase Young. Delivering the award is Captain Hertel. The Naval Submarine League Outstanding Achievement Award recognizes students with proven academic and leadership skills who have been selected for entry into the Navy's nuclear propulsion program as submarine officers. This year's recipient is Midshipman First Class Jesse Hines. Presenting this year's award is Captain Lee Sisko, U.S. Navy retired.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon. Honored to be here this year to present this award. First, before I move on, I want to thank all of our veterans in the audience for your service. I want to thank our active duty for your service, but also I want to thank our incoming active duty members who are going to carry the torch. And lastly, I want to thank all the families who've supported them, both the veterans, the active duty, and the family members and loved ones who've supported these midshipmen and candidates who are about to become officers. I know I certainly couldn't have done what I did when I was commissioned 30 years ago today. It's amazing how time goes by, so thank you. Like you mentioned, I'm here to present the award on behalf of the Naval Submarine League. It's a nonprofit organization made up of former submariners, but also people who just support the U.S. Navy to just bring attention to that support, but also, acknowledge those who are doing the service now. So they have lots of different awards. And the award is named after Rear Admiral Frank Warder, who was a submarine captain in World War II of the USS Seawolf, did 7 war patrols, which is pretty incredible. I mean, for those of you who know World War II history, the U.S. submarine force lost 52 submarines in World War II and over 3,500 people. Pretty sobering. So to get 7 war patrols in is incredible. He was awarded 2 Navy Crosses. And towards the beginning of the war, the submarine force had a lot of problems with torpedoes, and he earned his name of Fearless Frankie because basically he was getting really frustrated the torpedoes weren't working. So he's like, well, I'm just going to get a lot closer. We're going to get a lot closer to make sure those torpedoes hit, to put these ships on the bottom. And that's what he did. But then also came back with very valuable lessons learned to help the Navy figure that problem out. And so that's one thing about the submarine force is it's all about, lessons learned. What can we do to make things better? One of the things you're going to get, Jesse, I'm not going to present it to you here, you'll get it later, is a book written by another World War II admiral, Admiral Eugene Fluckey, called Thunder Below. Incredible book. Again, did amazing things. Many of you may not know the first Americans on Japanese soil during the war were submariners who were in a little rubber boat, paddling ashore, attaching explosives to a bridge to blow up a train for an explosives factory. He didn't get permission to do it. It wasn't briefed like at some high levels, like the Doolittle raid, like, hey, we're going to go over to Japan and blow up this bridge. He He's just out there driving his submarine around, and he's like, hey, we're going to have this stuff on board in case that opportunity presents itself. And then it did, and they did that. So it shows you kind of the type of people it takes to do that. So anyway, that's who it's named after, and again, it recognizes the student that's going to be going to the Naval Nuclear Power Program. The Naval Nuclear Power Program is very challenging. It's very rewarding, though. Submarines are not for everyone. But that's who it's named after. And so a little bit about Midshipman Jesse Hines, real quick. So he had a remarkable academic record. So he was a nuclear engineer, got about a 3.6 GPA. That's pretty impressive, just at any GPA, but nonetheless for nuclear power. Not only did he excel in academics, but also as a motivated leader. His strong leadership abilities have been apparent since his first day at the unit, and it culminated in his being the battalion command master chief. And beyond that, though, he also found opportunities to mentor and teach his junior midshipmen and fellow classmates. So specifically, though, going back again, I'd like to recognize some of his family members. So his dad, Travis, his mom, Leslie, and his sisters, Georgia, Lucy, and Julia. But also his grandfather, Lieutenant Hal Hines, a retired P-3 pilot and from the Vietnam era. Thank you, although you were hunting submarines. So, but thanks, appreciate that. His grandmother, June, and then lastly, his jiu-jitsu coach, Glayton Mello. So Jesse, if you join me on the stage here, I'll present your certificate. Family members, feel free if you want to come up here real quick and grab a photograph. We can also do a photo after the ceremony. But Jesse, thank you.
Thank you, Captain Sisko. The oaths of office will now be administered. The oath that all military officers take is a combination of constitutional requirements, historical influence, and centuries-old custom, with an overarching purpose to bind the commissionee to service. Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to take pictures of the oaths of office. Please hold your applause until the end. Braden Butcher, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by his brother-in-law, Lieutenant Michael Jones, U.S. Navy.
Good afternoon. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Braden Thomas Butcher,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Presenting Ensign Butcher with his cover and new insignia are his mother, Jenna, and his sisters, Megan and Mackenzie. Ensign Braden Butcher is from Cary, North Carolina, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Aerospace Engineering. He will report to Naval Aviation Schools Command, Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida, as a student naval aviator. Ensign Butcher's first salute will be given by Officer Candidate Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. Alex Chasen, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Captain Andrew Hertel, United States Navy.
Jason, are you ready to accept your commission? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Alexander Chasen,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
on which I'm about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Ensign.
Presenting Ensign Chasen with his cover and new insignia are his father and brothers David, Thomas, and Matthew Chasen. Ensign Alex Chasen is from Severna Park, Maryland, and is graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Nuclear Engineering with a minor in Naval Science. He is assigned to report to the Navy Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina as an officer in training for submarine warfare. Ensign Chasen's first salute will be given by Officer Candidate Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. Julian Colvin, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Second Lieutenant Parker Ashlock, United States Air Force.
I, Julian Colvin, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States
Support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office on which I'm about to enter.
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Presenting Ensign Colvin with his cover and new insignia are his parents, Michael and Julie Colvin. Ensign Julian Colvin is from Louisville, Kentucky, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in nuclear engineering. He will report to Navy Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina as an officer in training for submarine warfare. Ensign Colvin's first salute will be given by Specialist Aaron Holloway, United States Army. Blake Daniel, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Captain Christopher Boner, United States Navy.
Ready, shipmate? Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office for which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Presenting Ensign Daniel with his cover and new insignia are Jerry Tucker and Linwood Daniel. Ensign Blake Daniel is from Hillsborough, North Carolina, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in biological and agricultural engineering technology with a concentration in agricultural systems. He will report to Naval Aviation Schools Command, Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida, as a student naval aviator. Ensign Daniel's first salute will be given by Private First Class Elizabeth Lanier, U.S. Army. Jesse Hines, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Captain Christopher Boner, United States Navy.
I state your name.
I, Jesse Hines,
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And I take this obligation freely
And I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
And I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
And will well and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office for which I'm about to enter.
of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Presenting Ensign Hines with his cover and new insignia are Hal Hines, Travis Hines, and Leslie Hines. Ensign Jesse Hines is from Nashville, Tennessee, and is graduating with a bachelor's science degree in nuclear engineering. He will report to Naval Nuclear Power Training Command in Charleston, South Carolina as an officer in training for submarine warfare. Ensign Hans's first salute will be given by Gunnery Sergeant James Smith, United States Marine Corps. Joseph Melcher, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Captain Nicholas Hall, United States Marine Corps.
I, Joseph Brian Melcher, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
And I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office which I am about to enter.
of the office in which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Presenting Ensign Melcher with his cover and new insignia are his father, Chip Melcher, mother, Tina Benton, and stepdad, Mike Benton. Ensign Joseph Melcher is from Calvert County, Maryland, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in biological and agricultural engineering technology. He will report to Naval Aviation Schools Command, Naval Air Station Pensacola, Florida, as a student naval aviator. Ensign Melcher's first salute will be given by Chief Petty Officer Brandon Hartwell, United States Navy, retired. Declan Miller, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Major Casey Miller, United States Marine Corps.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Declan Reese Miller,
Solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Presenting Ensign Miller with his cover and new insignia are Heather Miller, Elijah Miller, and Drew Miller. Ensign Declan Miller is from Bogue, North Carolina, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in nuclear engineering. He will report to Navy Nuclear Power Training Command in Charleston, South Carolina as an officer in training for submarine warfare. Ensign Miller's first salute will be given by Corporal Dominic Culsey, United States Marine Corps. Atlee Poole, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Major Matthew Angel, United States Marine Corps.
I state your name.
I, Adam Michael,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to support and defend
support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic.
foreign and domestic.
And I will bear true faith
And I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same.
And I take this obligation freely,
And I take this obligation freely,
without mental reservation or without hesitation or without mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
And I will well and faithfully
And I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
of the office of which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Presenting Ensign Poole with his cover and new insignia are David, Melanie, and Esri Poole. Ensign Atlee Poole is from Newport, North Carolina, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in biological and agricultural engineering technology. He will report to Naval Aviation Schools Command, Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida, as a student naval aviator. Ensign Poole's first salute will be given by Master Sergeant Rachel Poole, United States Air Force. Cassidy Shire, United States Navy. Her oath of office will be administered by her mother, former Lieutenant Jennifer Shire, United States Navy. Presenting Ensign Shire with her cover and new insignia are her father, Keith Shire, and her sister, Madison Shire. Ensign Cassidy Shires from Toledo, Ohio, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in biological sciences. She will report to Naval Aviation Schools Command, Naval Air Station, Pensacola, Florida, as a student naval flight officer. Ensign Shire's first salute will be given by Officer Candidate Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. Tristan Seal, United States Navy. This oath of office will be administered by Captain Christopher Boner, United States Navy.
I state your name.
I, Tristan Garcia,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign or domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
And I take this obligation freely,
I take this obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion,
I will well and faithfully discharge
and I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter.
the duties of the office on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Presenting Ensign Seal with his cover and new insignia are Susan Wilcox, Joshua Seal, and Captain Gary Prose, United States Navy, retired. Ensign Tristan Seal is from New Bern, North Carolina, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in physics. He will report to Naval Nuclear Power Training Command in Charleston, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare. Ensign Seal's first salute will be given by First Sergeant Michael Contrini, United States Marine Corps, retired.
Good afternoon, sir.
Isabel Viato, United States Navy. Her oath of office will be administered by Commander Harold Viato, United States Navy, retired.
I state your full name. Solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely. Without mental reservation. For purpose of evasion. That I will well and faithfully. Discharge the duties. Of the office. On which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Give me a hug.
Presenting Ensign Viato with her cover and new insignia are Raquel Viato, Nicholas Viato, and Madison Taylor. Ensign Isabel Viato is from Suffolk, Virginia, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in nutrition science. She will report to the USS Kidd DDG 100 as an officer in training for surface warfare. Ensign Viato's first salute will be given by Officer Candidate Vivian Gutierrez, United States Navy. Jack Wild, United States Marine Corps. His oath of office will be administered by Captain Nicholas Hall, United States Marine Corps.
I, Jack P. Wild, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith
And allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely
Without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
That I will well and faithfully.
That I will well and faithfully
Discharge the duties.
discharge the duties
Of the office to which I'm about to enter.
of the office in which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Presenting Second Lieutenant Wild with his cover and new insignia are Corporal Joshua Likes and his mother, Mary Wild. Second Lieutenant Jack Wild is from Charlotte, North Carolina, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in economics. He will report to the basic school in Quantico, Virginia. Second Lieutenant Wild's first salute will be given by his father, Senior Chief Stephen Wild, United States Navy, retired. Chase Young, United States Navy. His oath of office will be administered by Captain Andrew Hertel, United States Navy.
Shipman Young, are you ready to accept the commission? Yes, sir. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Chase Young,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
on which I'm about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Presenting Ensign Young with his cover and new insignia are his parents, Dave and Lisa Young, and his girlfriend, Jillian Presick. Ensign Chase Young is from Raleigh, North Carolina, and is graduating with a bachelor's degree in business administration. He will report to Naval Nuclear Power Training Command in Charleston, South Carolina, as an officer in training for submarine warfare. Ensign Young's first salute will be given by Senior Airman Triantopoulos, United States Air Force. Please join me in another round of applause for our nation's newest military officers. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of Anchors Aweigh and the Marines Hymn. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony. Thank you for your attendance.